Tyler's parents, if you happen to see this, your child was sneaking dirty movies home when he was working shifts. Thank you. Welcome to the show, Tyler Yrjola. How are you, bud?
Doing great, man. Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Should we do the token birthday cheers?
Look at that.
All right.
Matching glasses.
So welcome to episode 3 of A Walk Around Guelph. For those of you that have not joined us before, A Walk Around Guelph is straightforward. It's about talking to people in our community, talking about what they're going to watch during lockdown, and really just having a fun, positive vibe-filled exploratory conversation. For those of you that have watched the channel or recognize the gentleman on the other side of the screen, you may know him as Rogue Leader. Tyler and I have the pleasure of doing a bunch of stuff together when we're not in lockdown. He's over at our place in the studio and we do shoots together. So this will be a lot of fun because he knows nothing more than any other guest as to what's going to be thrown at him other than the 3 questions. So
I feel like I'm on the other side now because I tend to grill you unprepared when you come on my channel. So
yeah, this is the role reversal I've been looking forward to that doesn't involve anyone crying at the end. So clearly you can see we're not drinking water tonight. All right. So I guess first things first, you have, for those of you that don't know, the Rogue Leader actually has a grown-up job and is actually a rather intelligent human being. So just kind of for anyone who doesn't know who you are, you don't have to give specifics. Obviously, I don't want you to concern yourself with confidentiality, but can you kind of give people of Guelph kind of an idea as to what you do as a day job?
Yeah. So, well, the start. So I'm not born and raised Guelph. I'm a Sioux boy, right? Yeah.
Just bite my tongue here.
Did not go back.
Yeah. You got it, and you were like, forget it. I'm never going past Sudbury ever again unless someone's dying or getting married.
Yeah. So I came down here for school, and again, I don't know what it was that drew me from being from the Sioux. There's infinite amount of universities you can choose from, right? I didn't have any friends go here. I went here completely solo, and from me, like anyone knows me, I kind of have a reputation of being quiet sometimes, right? So to do something on my own and just kind of leave was obviously new and different. And then loved my time down here. And when graduated, it was like, well, what the hell am I going to do with my life? I still don't really can't even answer that question. And I think a lot of people are in that boat. So I hung around. What are you on, career number 10?
Yeah. People say you're so professionally well-rounded. I'm like, that's exactly what I was going for. Yeah.
So I kicked it around in Guelph a little bit. I worked at a place called Metal Lumen. I worked at Nestle Waters, and then I got a job at McNeil Consumer Healthcare, which is also known as Johnson & Johnson. So they're obviously one of the biggest companies in the world, one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies in the world, and consumer companies. Yeah. I've kind of been there ever since now. I think it's going on 14 years, which is crazy. I still look like a baby compared to other people who are like, yeah, I just had my 5-year anniversary. I'm like, oh, 14 for me.
Yeah, and you still look 17, which is kind of weird. So like, I actually have no idea what you do for a living. Like, when you say, "Oh, I work for J&J," that's like saying, "Remember that guy who worked at BlackBerry, John? Did you know him?" Like what do you actually do?
So right now, why am I so blurry?
How much wine you had?
Blurry for you?
Well, I mean, it could be a lighting thing.
It's like it's not focusing.
Struggle. Oh boy. Should we cut to commercial?
Yeah,
oh wait, we're not that popular.
What? No one's gonna pay for an advertisement? Does it, you know what I mean? It looks like I lost.
Oh, you're fine. Just keep going, you diva.
All right.
Okay. We're not cutting any of this, so it's just you that looks dumb.
Yeah. So I've had.
Hold on. Basically, what I'm hearing is you're gonna run away from the conversation because I don't think you know what you do for a living.
You know what my goal is to be like Chandler or to be like Barney Stinson. right?
Chandler. Nice. Nice.
Nobody knows what
Yeah.
they do.
No,
Nobody.
they just they just show up.
Yeah.
So Tyler and I, for anyone who doesn't know, have known each other since I would say 2012-ish, 2013. When my wife and I started dating, she had hired, oh yeah, I'm going here. She had hired a co-op student who shall remain nameless. And this
And
co-op
maybe
student of
appear
my
on this
wife
program.
that may appear on this program, right, as a naturopathic doctor herself. And at the time, she wanted to be a pharmacist and was doing her co-op at McNeil. And my now wife had hired her, and we became pretty close and got to know her really well. And I'll never forget, she told us she was bringing a boy by the house. And I will never forget the look on your face walking through that front door, which would be God, 9 years ago now.
Yeah. It's funny because like obviously I was friendly with Stacy at work, but it's not
Yeah.
like we were like, you know, tight or close by any means at that point in time. So
Mm-hmm.
it was interesting, you know, with my, you know, now wife, I guess we can say, being like, we're going to go to, you know, Stacy's house. And I'm like, oh boy,
You were
this is,
both rather petrified in that moment.
this is going to be
And
interesting when I walk through that
the
door.
jokes about making out with a co-op student went on for many years. But you know, all
Yes.
joking aside, like you guys are
I
virtually
stuck to it.
married. Yeah, I had the pleasure of coming to your diaper party, and you have two incredibly cool kids. Your son Cole is an absolute rock star. I haven't got to know Nyla as much because of
COVID.
lockdown, but you and I
Yeah.
have become pretty intertwined in lives, and obviously kind of speeding up to the present. You have a very, very cool, and I say that sincerely, a very, very cool Star Wars channel that really talks more about collaborative work, and that's something that I think is going to be stuff like this. I think is going to become incredibly popular over the next chunk of time, rather than that show a clip of stuff and talk in the background. And you know, I really commend you for trying something different. You've had some videos that have been, you know, incredibly successful, and it's very, very, very cool to see. So I guess the question is, because you work from home,
Yeah.
and then when you're not here on Friday mornings, when it's not lockdown, and your wife runs an online naturopathic clinic, which has obviously its own specialty, and you have two kids running around. So what does that day look like? Like, what does your 7 a.m. till 7 p.m. look like? Like, that must be chaotic. I can
Uh,
barely take care of a cat, and here you are with two human beings.
it's insane, man. Anyone with kids knows. Our daughter wakes up anywhere between, you know, 4 a.m. to 6 a.m. And once she's up, it's like, it's go time. It's like screaming once. And her new routine now is that in the morning has to have the television on. And when it's 4:30 a.m. and you're a zombie, you just say, yes, ma'am. Right. So we're up, like, we probably watched The Grinch, the new animated one with Benedict Cumberbatch as the lead voice. I've probably seen
Ooh,
that,
okay, that's good.
probably not lying, probably 66 times over since you know, the second
I've
week
heard
of
it's
December.
good. I've heard
Yeah,
it's good.
I know it word for word now. But she absolutely, she absolutely goes insane for it. And then our son Cole, if he gets any whiff of, like, he can hear the TV from his room, he's like, oh shit, I'm missing out on TV.
I'm missing out on life.
So he comes storming out of the room, and then he's up, and then they're both jumping on the couch, and then they're fighting over what show goes on next. And then they're like, Daddy, I'm hungry. Daddy, I'm hungry. Daddy, I'm hungry. And it's 6:30, and like, I can't get up because Nyla's on me. And if I like get up and leave her by herself, she'll start screaming. And me and my wife switch off mornings, right? You know, one morning I get up with him, next morning she does. And the goal is to let the other person sleep at least till 7. And then after
Now,
7, it's like you can send the kids, get them up, and then the day starts, right? I'll make breakfast. We get them dressed. My Kelsey will drive them
so
to
much for
school.
autonomy. Yeah.
Kelsey will drive them to school, and then I start my work day. She comes back, starts her work day, and then I pick them up, and Kelsey tends to work a little bit later, and I pick them up, bring them home, get them set up with an activity or something like that, make dinner, get dinner made, and then it's like they get some sort of game or something like that. They get our attention anyways for like 30, 45 minutes after supper, and then it's bedtime routine. And man, bedtime routine is insane. To do the same chore of go to the bathroom, brush your teeth, put your jammies on is literally fighting World War III every single night. It starts to wear on you, and then some days you just like really just stop giving a shit and it doesn't bother you anymore. And then you'll have that day where that creeps back into you and you really start caring. You want to fight them tooth and nail on like everything. Oh,
Now, have you noticed it's different since lockdown and since pandemic? Like, do you find that they have more energy to burn? It gets them, it makes it harder to put them down at night. Do you find it's easier because they've been able to spend more time with mommy and daddy? Like, how does life now differ than before the pandemic hit?
yeah. So they were already like, they're like kind of incapable of self play, shall we say, right? They need mommy or daddy doing said
Is
thing
that
with
like
them.
a daddy thing from the Sioux? Like needs people around to hang out with, or is that like a mom thing? Are we blaming mom for this one?
I don't know. It's just you want to build Legos. I can't do it by yourself. Got to do it. You want to stack blocks. You want to draw a picture. They need help. I think they just don't want to do something alone, and they're not at the age where they can really play with each other the way each other wants to play with one another, right? So pandemic has only emphasized that a little bit. There's less opportunities to like go play with other kids, right? So it's a lot more dependent on mom and dad. And as for your question about energy, yeah, it's like, okay, we got to get them outside today because they got to burn off energy. They're absolutely crazy in the house. But like Cole, he could run 40 marathons in a row and still be bouncing off the wall. Like he never stops until bedtime.
I feel like at his core though, this is a you thing, because I remember being at your diaper party, and you were not short of any energy yourself. I mean, we're out there hitting golf balls across railroad tracks and shooting some type of air rifle into some field, and like it's not like you lack any energy,
No, well, I
even though you're
certainly feel like
self-proclaimed
it now.
shy. Well, it's because you're not a spring chicken anymore, kid.
Yeah, my knees hurt.
Oh, my back.
Yeah.
Okay, so you wrestle with the kids all day. You have a work day, which, quite frankly, I don't really know how stressful your work day can actually be. Your lovely
I
wife
cannot
does,
confirm or deny.
and then you go to bed. So, what are give me an example of one thing that during this pandemic, when the kids are asleep, what's the first thing you're throwing on at night that you guys want to watch together right now?
Who, me and my wife?
Yeah, or you. I
Oh.
mean, maybe you're hiding from your wife, hiding from all human interaction. Like when you have that quiet moment and you're done fighting World War III with the kids, and your wife's tired of talking because she's been talking to clients all day. What do you throw on? Like what's your go-to right now?
Well, I'm kind of weird where I don't really
That's
watch.
irrelevant, but yeah,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
I don't really watch a lot of like replay watches. You know what I mean? Like obviously
Interesting.
Star Wars, I do, but whenever I want to sit down and like relax and check something out, I'm always looking for something new. It's not like I got that go-to thing or like, I'm going to rewatch that series again over and over or something else. I'm always looking for something new. So I try out, I normally got a rule with shows, right? I give a show 3 episodes, and if it hasn't hooked me, then I can't move on. Or if it does, then I finish it out to the end. Like always, that
So
kind of
you
thing.
treat
So
shows the way people treat dating.
yeah,
Like they go on those 3 dates, it's
I date
going
that
somewhere,
show, gave it a
you're ready
chance.
to
Yeah.
commit, but
Yeah.
after 3 dates, if it's not flying, you're out.
Yeah. And then I try to be, Kelsey will laugh and not say this is true, but if we were watching a communal show, right? I can easily rhyme off a bajillion things I want to watch, but I know she's gonna want no business seeing it, right? Like right off the bat, if it's me, explosions, action,
Yep.
aliens, like
Yeah.
you can rhyme the list off, right? She's no interest. So if we're watching a communal show, I try to find a balance, and she can't pick worth shit. Like if she was looking at the menus,
She would just look at the menus for 3 hours, and
she'd be in the menu for an hour and a
go to
half,
bed.
and then she'd be like, "I'm going to put Friends on and fall asleep." So as much as she hates that I pick, I have to make a decision. Have to.
Okay, so when you guys sit down and it's not Friends, what are you two watching right now?
So recently, again, this is no like our favorite shows or anything like that. What's on right now?
Yeah, what are you checking on?
We just finished Power Book 2.
Okay.
So Power, have you heard of Power?
Yep.
Yeah. So it's like, for anyone who hasn't seen it, it's like a hyper stylized version of The Wire, basically.
Yep.
So we checked out that. Power Book 2 is the second, like the spin-off, right? There's a bunch of spin-offs coming out of it. It's kind of crazy. A show by 50 Cent just created like 5 spin-offs. But
doing well with it. Yeah.
We've been watching that. Another show we're waiting, it got delayed because of the pandemic, but we're both really into it and we're waiting for it to come back, is Billions.
I've heard that's amazing.
Yes. Absolutely amazing.
I've not watched it yet, but apparently it's amazing. I love the guy with the goatee and the older guy.
Oh,
He's doing some great stuff.
Yep. Yeah, and what I would compare it to is, I think almost everyone's seen Suits, right? Suits seems to be that show everyone's seen. It's like identical to Suits, but stock market instead of law practice. So it's
fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, so Power. So what about when she goes to bed and it's just you? What are you like over the next 30 days? What are you making time for to watch? Now, I understand this is interesting because you are a diehard Star Wars guy, so it can be whatever you want. What are you looking forward to getting into in the next 3 weeks?
Yeah. So again, this isn't my favorite shit, but this is what I actually plan on watching. So number one, I haven't got around to watching the second season of The Boys yet. Seen season 1.
Oh, good.
Loved it.
So inappropriate.
Yeah, season 2 has been waiting for me, and I know when I watch that first episode, it's going to be an all out binge, right? So I'm trying to find my moment. So sometime within the next month, it's going to go down. So I'm really excited to see that one.
You will not be disappointed. It is the unglorified life of the collateral damage that surrounds the idea of being a superhero. For those of you that have not watched it, it is definitely not child appropriate, but it is wildly graphic and obscenely inappropriately funny.
Well, the season finale of season 1, when Homelander goes to the girl's house and finishes her, what he does.
And it gets weird. Like if you thought it was weird in season 1, it gets like creepy weird. All right, so The Boys, I love it. What else is on your hit list?
So I've actually already seen this one, but I feel no one ever talks about it, so I need to give it a shout out just for that one person who's going to take me serious and watch it. And it's a series called Dark. It's on Netflix. It's a show that you can't be surfing your phone while you're on it. It needs your full attention.
Premise it for me. I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah, so it's time travel, and it has a unique way of explaining the rules of time travel and how they time travel. It's a German show, and the reason why it probably hasn't got as much, push in North America as it has is because, like I said, it's German and it's actually dubbed in English. So I don't think there's actually subtitles. It's actually English speaking over it. But some people obviously don't like that or can't get into it. They actually do a really good job with it. And I feel after half an episode, your mind makes up the difference, right? Like you don't notice it anymore. So I would highly, highly recommend people giving it a shot. Basically, to give you the premise, like you'll learn this in the first couple episodes, is their present day. There's an accident or an incident where a child goes missing, and everyone's searching for him, and that child ends up 30 years or 33 years in the past, and that child grows up in the past and ends up being a significant character already in the present. You know what I mean? And it just does this loop. And then there's 33 years in the future, and it's just this endless loop of back and forth. And every character has like 3 versions of them. It's like it's so interwoven and
That
crazy.
sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely one you want to sit down, maybe grab a couple things to have fun with, and relax and start binging. But yeah,
Fair
Dark
enough.
is what it's called.
Dark. I'll be
Very
honest,
good.
man. I'm actually super intrigued because it's funny. So that's where you and I are very different.
Mhm.
I'm very much a rewatcher, and I need to break. I need to break that cycle. I need to start watching some new stuff. I'm always one that's going to go back to something that's comfortable. I know the outcome. I know I'm going to love it. But that sounds like a good recommendation.
Yeah, it's solid. So
Okay. All
now
right.
my last one is a
Yeah. Give me the
movie.
third.
Yeah,
Uh,
is a movie.
about goddamn
Um,
time. No one
yeah,
picks
so to give you a little background
movies.
here, I don't know if you know, but growing up,
No one
yeah,
picks
so to give you a little background
movies.
here, I don't know if you know, but growing up, my parents owned a video store, like a movie rental store.
I did not know that about you.
Take One Video. It was their like side hustle, and
Your parents owned a video store.
I actually
Did
worked there for like two
did they
three
have a dirty
years.
movie section?
Oh yeah,
Oh boy.
don't have
Did you
to say
sneak
it
them
on
home
that
the
one.
odd time?
No comment. No comment.
Tyler's parents, if you happen to see this, your child was sneaking dirty movies home when he was working shifts. Thank you.
Yeah. So there was a period of time, right? I don't know when it was in the '90s, but there's like a 3-4 year period where I probably seen every movie released those years.
Interesting.
We would get send the VHS screeners ahead of time. So before they were even released, right, you'd get the VHS tape, and then it'd have like a little black and white section with text being like, "This is a screener. Do not, sell or release." We'd be getting like early editions of shows. It was good. So that's where probably my love of movies really came from, right? Um,
Interesting.
so saying that, there is a lot of classics I never actually saw. And I got this whole list of classics I have to go back and watch. And one of them you keep talking about, Footloose.
Oh,
Never seen it. But
what?
yeah, but the one I'm talking about though, this is the one I'm gonna focus on getting done this month.
Okay.
The soundtrack for this movie is so famous and so haunting and exhilarating at the same time. It's by a guy, I believe it's Clint Mansell is his name. Um, that Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers, used it for their trailer, and like they beefed it up a little bit. And it is that epic that, remember in the back of the day when you'd burn a CD, you'd,
Yes.
and then if the advanced was you'd burn an MP3 CD where you could fit on even more songs.
Yeah, you could put like 100
Yeah.
songs on one CD. It was
So
mind-boggling.
I still have this CD in my car. I have literally 120 song CD, 119 gangster rap songs, and then the score for this movie.
What is it?
So the movie is Requiem for a Dream. Never seen it. I feel like I know it because of the score, but I heard it's depressing, sad. You're not going to feel good after it, but at the same time, it's like epically written, directed, acted. Like it's one of those ones you got to must see. Um,
That is an interesting collection of viewable topics for you for the next 30 days.
yeah. Have you seen Requiem for a Dream?
I have not.
Maybe we should watch it together. Oh no, we're in lockdown. Never mind.
Tell you what, if you'll wait till after lockdown,
Yeah.
we can come back and do that because I'm assuming that we're gonna go back to shooting some Rogue Leader stuff.
Yeah.
Requiem for a Dream. So Requiem for a Dream, Dark, and Power. So
No,
something
boys,
produced.
boys,
Oh, the boys.
boys.
So twisted superhero.
Yeah.
Odd 3-generational time travel.
Mhm.
And depressing 80s 90s.
I think it's about heroin addicts, right? I think it's about drugs. Requiem
Yeah.
for a Dream.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right.
Yeah, I don't even really know what it's about. Like I said, I've listened to the score a bajillion times, but never got around to the actual movie itself.
Wild. Huh. I'm not gonna lie. I felt like we knew each other pretty well, but I've learned a chunk in the last few minutes about you. And the next question. So my hair is atrocious. I notice you've got the hat going on.
Yeah.
What's going on under that lid? Like, is it like dirty hippie? What do you like?
Greasy hippie, maybe?
Let's see it. Let's see it. Can you lift the lid there? Oh,
Oh yeah, look
wow.
at that.
I feel like with that hairdo, you should put grease on.
Get that slickum, eh?
Look at the flow you got going on. Oh, wow. Okay, put it back on. I feel like you shouldn't be able to drive by schools with that thing.
It's
I
well,
mean,
you
it's
know,
not it's not it's not much better because you put a Jets hat on. But
hey man, things are turning around this next season. Got the
yeah,
new
buddy.
coach.
As a
Gonna get the new
Bills fan,
quarterback.
you're not convincing anybody what we're turning it around. We're
Yeah.
turning it around this year is.
The
Anyway,
10-year rebuild's gonna come to an end.
we'll stick around for a bit after we're done shooting. I'd love to chat for a few minutes more. So,
Yeah.
anything else you want to add before we call it a night?
No, well, obviously,
Any
thanks
advice
for
to parents out there? So, if you're a parent and you've got a couple small kids, what message? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I want to drop one more on you.
all right.
If I wanted to watch something to better
Yeah.
understand who you were as a person, a movie,
Yeah.
what movie would you tell me to watch to understand you a little more?
Interesting.
So, for example, mine is Happy Gilmore. If you want to know who I am as a human being, watch Happy Gilmore. How's that for being put on the spot?
Oh, well, I feel like I got the obvious answer, like sitting here, you know what I
Is
mean?
it Star Wars?
Yeah, but I'm in my head,
And
I'm
that's
like,
okay.
is there
Yeah.
actually a movie that might better personify myself? Um, yeah, Star Wars, man. It's all about the
Jedi?
unlikely hero. Yeah, Jedi.
Jedi? Fair enough. All right. Well, please stick around. Sorry. So, any advice you'd give to the parents with a couple small kids out there who are running around this pandemic, probably a little stressed running around the house the way you do? What's one tidbit of advice that Tyler, Rogue Leader the Wise, the former thief of adult movies from their parents' video store, what advice would you give parents out there in this pandemic?
Yeah, one, you'll get through it, but B, like self-care. Find some time for yourself. Work with your spouse, your partner, whoever it may be, and try to block off, even if it's just 30 minutes, an hour to work out, lock yourself in the bedroom and watch a movie or something like that. Just get some alone time.
Make time for each
And
other.
exactly. That's the biggest thing, easily.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate the time. Not that this was semi last minute. I mean, I'm extremely excited to have you on. We spend a fair amount of time doing this, but it's normally on your channel. So, how was it being on the other side of it?
No, it's good, man. Appreciate for having me on.
Well, that's what this is all about, right? It's about going around our community. The people that follow you online see you in a certain persona, the same way they see certain other people in our community in certain personas. And I think it's important for us to realize that although people may see us and other people on screens, it's important to remember that we're all parents or fur parents that are chasing kids around, and to remember that it's important to be kind and be nice and never be afraid to laugh a little bit. So,
Yeah,
Tyler,
it may look like I'm a Star Wars nerd with lots of free time goofing around all day, but behind the scenes, it is an extreme challenge, and it's probably similar for a lot of people out there. So
yeah, fair enough. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time. Have an amazing rest of the pandemic. And as soon as we are done this lockdown, please rejoin my small bubble so that we can get back into the studio down here, which is over there somewhere, and get back to making some content together. Okay.
yeah, for sure, bud.
Have yourself an amazing evening, my friend.
You too. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks again. Yeah.